Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. My name is PsychoGold. This is PsychoGold Videos. Now, I said in the last reaction I did, which you might not have seen because of the way I record stuff, but I said that an anime that people keep suggesting, talking about, mentioning because they think it's being forgotten is Vinland Saga. So, apparently that was coming out yesterday. Now, I waited for Vinland Saga to appear because I was interested in Vinland Saga and I wanted to see what the first episode was going to be like. But it didn't come out. And just as I was about to go to bed, it did come out. And I had to do a double take because it didn't just come out with one episode. It didn't just come out with 2 episodes. No, Vinland Saga went to hell with logic. Let's drop all 3 of our first episodes and then disappear into the limelight, never to be seen again until the 28th of July. Which is like... Huh? I'm a bit confused as to why they've done this, but there are 3 episodes of Vinland Saga to watch. Since they've done that, that kinda to me makes sense for me to give this a go, since I don't have to wait for next week or the week after to kind of decide if I'm going to keep watching this, because normally 3 episodes is about what I give a show, and if I don't like it by then, I'm probably not going to. There are exceptions. But yeah, 3 episodes all in one go. Now, in fairness, Shield Hero did something similar. When it had its first episode, it had like a 40-minute special airing thing. But I don't know, that was still classed as one episode. And it then had another 25, or 24 because it's 21 in total, but you know what I mean. Like, it didn't then go on a break, which, that's the bit that confuses me. Like, if you want to drop 3 episodes on the word go, fine. But, why have you, I don't get why they've dropped 3 episodes and then decided, right, see you at the end of July, folks, we're gonna go and chill for a bit. It seems really odd, but either way, I'm gonna check out episode 1 now. I haven't yet decided how I'm going to break this down video-wise on YouTube, but I am probably going to watch all 3 of these back-to-back, so if you're on the Patreon, then you're probably going to see all of these 3 together in one post, and if you're not on the Patreon and you would like to be, link is in the description below. I think you know what to do from there. That said, I'm going to dive into episode 1 now, so I honestly don't really know what this is about. I know this is about Vikings, and that's about it. And I know that lots of people seem to be telling everybody else not to expect an action-heavy series, and then they're immediately followed up with a comment that says, but it is an action-heavy series until it gets to such and such storylines, so I have no idea, but I know that the animation is very pretty, though it will have to work itself very hard to impress over the Fire Force. And yes, I'm aware that I said I was only going to react to 1 anime, which is why I'm not promising I'm going to do the full series for Vinland Saga. But one thing I didn't realize is all of the other anime that I've been thinking I need to catch up on, I've actually finished. So, yes, I need to catch up with Dororo is the biggest one. And there's a couple of other anime that have been outstanding forever that I want to try and get through. But maybe I will give Dr. Stone a go next week when there's 2 episodes to watch, and I'll see what I think. But like I said, since this is not going to have anything happen for 3 weeks, this is ideal for my situation, so I thought, why not? Let's give it a watch. 3, 2, 1, go. Mein God. Look at those blades. Theresa May would have a field day. My God, they're walking through fields of gold. Okay then, so he's not walking through fields of gold, so much as he is remembering. Whoa! Okay, that suddenly escalated very quickly. Quick, hype pose! What the fuck? Okay, just whoosh! Chop through 4 dudes and the mast. I dozed off. This fight is so boring. What? Okay. I missed his name. I was too caught up in the chaos. I was like, what's going on? Oh! I was gonna say, what do you mean you're gonna stop him? Good God, man! He's got some strong arms on him. That's what I'm gonna say about that. Oh my god, it's hailing as well. How unfortunate. He looks so bored. They knocked the sword out of his hand. And he still won. Okay, so this guy's pretty lethal, I think is the moral of this story. Oh. He apparently doesn't want to use his enemy's sword. Fair enough. Oh, damn. Who won? It looks like everybody's burning. Vinland Saga. Alright. Alright, it has my attention. But, you know. Oh, opening. Okay, cool. I would headbang more viciously, but I'm starting to get rid of this neck pain. I don't want it to come back. But it's definitely that kind of song. This is like all the people who are currently playing Mordhau on Steam. This is your anime. Everybody's using massive swords and shields, and that guy's got 2 tiny daggers. He's also quite small, actually. I've only just clicked to that. That's Matey, isn't it? That we just saw in the ships. Is that his dad? Are we seeing 2 different timelines? Oh, yeah, it's the same guy. Okay. Thank you, opening. You answered my questions perfectly. Oh, man, I love this music. Oh, okay, so he's a kid now. Are we going to see, like, his journey? Is that what the name of the show is? His saga, in essence. Year 1002 in Iceland. I'd have never guessed with all of that ice and snow that that's where you were. And I'm not being sarcastic, I would have never guessed. The visuals are like really heavy Viking, and then they're speaking Japanese. My brain is kind of like having to... Wait, what? But it's still cool. It's like Saga Tanya the Evil, Yojo Senki, isn't it? It's no different to all the English films set in foreign lands where they speak English for some unbeknownst reason. Ah, the name of this land is Vinland. Okay. Oh, okay. So they've met the natives. Okay. We couldn't understand each other, but somehow we became friends. Yeah, that's what I thought. It looked very Native American, or what he was wearing, and I was like, what? So we're not following on from where the episode started then, with that battle on the boats. Well, he obviously must have got there, otherwise he wouldn't have the headgear. Runaway slave? Chain around his neck being the big clue there. You say that like it's unexpected. You're in one of the coldest places on the planet, and you're surrounded by snow. Not a chance. She has her own bed. What? Yeah, I'm not touching that one. That's not what we do. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, he's the weird one for not wanting a slave. Which, yes, I know in the time period he would have been the weird one, but that's not the point. Oh, is this the person that we saw last night? Is that where he collapsed and then got buried by the snow? She looks a little too pleased with that discovery. She's like, haha, my prayers have been answered. But where did he come from? Okay, so they're gonna try and save him. They don't look like they've rotted. They've gone discolored from the fact that these got no blood flow, but they don't look rotted to me. I'm guessing that this is the lot that chose to leave Norway then. I'm with you, I'm with you. I don't know if any of this is true, so feel free to let me know if it is. I hate to break it to you, kid, but I'm 99% confident that it is true. Damn, he managed to get through the mountains with literally practically nothing on him. Mr. T disagrees with you. Oh, I don't like this guy already. Ah, he has that sort of arrogant look on his face too. So these guys do not get along then. Okay, so there's definitely a lot of blood between these guys. Whoa! No, he cares about the law, obviously. Oh, yeah, that will hurt. The law is a chain. Oh, of course he would be in favor of the law. So he's that kind of character. Right, okay. Well, this got depressing very quick. Yep, so that's like their new version of heaven. Yeah. I had a funny feeling he was going to try and offer to buy him. Just say he died in the snow. Oh, I don't think he liked that answer. Yeah, I think Halfdan knows better than to have a aggressive confrontation with him. I think they just basically crippled themselves in their ability to look after themselves. I get what he was trying to do there, but at the same time, it's like, you gotta look after your own family too, man. I mean, maybe he's got more sheep than I'm envisioning, but... Oh! He died right afterwards! Hello, box? There's something inside of you that's important? So I'm trying to decide if Vinland is the real place, because Matey does have the Native American stuff, or is it a made-up place that they're using to kind of keep people going, and it's essentially the only way you actually get there is if you die, you know? So that's where I'm at right now with the whole Vinland Saga thing. Well, that was the first episode of Vinland Saga, and damn, that opening was vicious in the best of ways. I was just blown away by the animation of the combat. It was so visceral and it was brilliant. I could definitely see strokes of Dororo. I almost felt like I could see, which is impressive considering I've not seen it, but I almost feel like the way some of the characters were drawn were reminding me of Attack on Titan. And as I haven't actually watched that, that probably doesn't mean a whole lot. I've just seen the trailers. Yes, I plan to watch that in the future. But I quite like the art style of the show. As it went on, I could definitely see a lot of Dororo's color palette, for want of a better phrase. The way that they do certain colors and the dark tones, I definitely could tell that it was by the people that did the recent Dororo series, which obviously I now need to finish. The episode then got very introspective, I suppose is the word I want to use. After a lot of fighting and chaos, it suddenly then became about this kid, and we saw the guy that was in the beginning with all of the chaos, but his name's Thors, is it? It's not Thor, it's Thors! But he is a dad, he's a family man, he has a wife and 2 kids, 1 girl, 1 boy, and they obviously are on Iceland and they're sharing it with other runaways, I guess, but they seem to be more peaceful, and it looks like there's another group out there that are a bit more aggressive, but they seem to have the same set of laws, because as we saw in the episode, the slaver was not interested in starting a fight. He didn't want to get aggressive, he didn't want to start combat, because there was something holding him back in the way of the laws and he didn't want to break them. As we saw what happened when one of his men let his emotions get the better of him, he was more than happy to put him down himself and state that you will not break the law as long as you are under my service, basically, because the law is a chain and we must respect that. And it's kind of like, oh, okay, he's that kind of character. In his brain, he is the good guy because he is following the letter of the law, and right now, slavery is the law, so by that definition, he is not a bad guy in his mind. It's obvious that some people on the island are afraid of him. I want to say his name was like Halfdan or something, but the way that Thor's daughter responded to him and how afraid of him she was and how she really didn't like the way his dad was her dad rather, was being not aggressive, but he was assertive. This was his house, and he was not afraid of any of them. And I also think Halfdan knows that. The way he responded to him, that seems like they had a history. In my opinion, we know for a fact from the guys down on the docks that there is some sort of history between these 2 villages, settlements, whatever you want to call them, because when they were arguing at the docks, he made it, you know, there were comments made between people losing limbs, people's brothers not being able to walk again, and they made reference to the fact that they have fought before. So clearly, they do not get along at all points in their history, and the guy that asked Thor to come down to the docks in the first place said that you're the only one that can handle him, implying perhaps that Thor's defeated him in combat, or that they've got a respect for each other. Maybe Halfdan respects what Thor's has done previously, either when they were in Norway or... Oh no, they were never in Norway, were they? They said their ancestors fled. So it must have been something that happened whilst they've been living together on Iceland. Maybe it's what we saw at the beginning with the big attack by the boats. Now obviously when I first saw that, I thought that it was Vikings fighting another nation. With the information that we've had from the episode, I'm now wondering if what we actually saw was the people of Iceland fighting the Vikings, and they were actually like a group that Norway had sent out to basically deal with those that ran away for whatever reason, and Thor's and everybody else on the island basically beat them back. And as we saw, Thor's was a big reason for that happening, because him and his mate, whose name escapes me, they pretty much were able to take on God knows how many at once, and then Thor's went on the offensive. Obviously, we don't really know what happened, but it makes sense given what we saw at the end with all of those ships burning. They all looked like they were Viking ships, which confused me, but now knowing that this is kind of almost like a civil war in inverted commas, so they would all have similar designs because they're all technically from the same nation, that makes more sense. We were seeing two different factions, but they're gonna have the similar weapons and armor and ships because they're all from the same place. So yeah, I think that's what we saw. Obviously I don't know that, but that's what I'm inferring from everything that we've seen. Now with that said, I am gonna jump into episode 2 now. 3, 2, 1, go. Northern England of Northumbria. Okay. Ho 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 ho! Straight in the back. Yeah. Damn, man, they've come in force. Don't spare the women or children. That's a bit mean. Then again, I don't recall there's any kind of courtesy being spared to us either, so... Okay, so this is gonna be weird. They keep doing this sort of flashback and then cut to this era. Gonna say, suddenly it got very serious, didn't it? It was like a moment of, is this village still gonna be here when I get back? Oh, he's a smith as well. Nice. Oh! So what's... Oh my lord, it's too big to fit in the dock. Alright. So what's this about then? Oh. This doesn't look good. So he know who they were. Or are, should I say. Oh? Wait. That wasn't the response I was expecting. I like the way he was waiting for permission to land. That's very respectful. Oh! So that thing that was happening in England wasn't a flashback. It happened fairly... Well, it was a flashback, but you know what I mean. It happened fairly recently. Oh, he's the captain of this particular group. Okay. I've got a funny feeling that he's not going to like that. Well, then, I'm confused. They said that the ancestors fled Norway, but he obviously was in Norway. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been part of this group. I'm very confused by exactly what the events here are. Yeah. Slight difference, isn't there, between an actual warrior and kids? They're going to destroy the village, aren't they? I feel this is a very tense episode. I'm sorry I'm not saying much, but it's like... Oh, this is getting like... the strongest army in the Northern Sea. Of course, he would be part of such a legendary group. Yeah, everybody else is cheering. And he looks sad. Ah, they're all idiots. They don't understand at all, do they? Ah, okay. So, He's a warrior that decided that killing was enough, basically. Oh, that's what we saw. Okay, so the fight wasn't over. He literally just decided to walk away. Even if he does really well in the war, they're still going to take it out on him, aren't they? I love the music in this. I've got to say, like, the music is really well done in this. Every time that it cuts in, it just brings everything up. It's just brilliant. He's beating the crap out of him this time. Oh! He's quite knowledgeable, this Tors. He's trying to learn blacksmithing. He's a ancient warrior. Now he's a medic. It's like, how many different skills does he have? Oh yeah, I did think that he didn't look old enough to be with them, and he's not. He's like 5 years younger than them, and he still wiped the floor with them. Love it. It's pretty obvious what the kid's annoyed about. He wants to go off and fight with his dad. Yep, he's looking through... Yeah, he's looking for the weapons. Well, there's the stuff we saw at the end of the last episode. I must say, considering it's allegedly been sat in a box, it looks like it's well maintained. I bet that hasn't been sharpened or cleaned in a long time, and yet it still glows when he takes it out. That's a dagger. The daggers we saw in the opening, isn't it? Oh dear. I think your dad's angry at you. Like Halfdan, implying that he hadn't actually thought about it. Damn, man, he's definitely a pacifist in inverted commas, isn't he? He doesn't think he's coming back, does he? You see what I mean about the music, though? Like, it's just... Oh, it's so good with the scenes. I don't know how good this one's going to be to react to, I'm not going to lie. It's very much a lot of words. I think this is going to be more of an emotional anime than anything. I'm just so into it. Like, you're not going to get much out of me. Oh god. Oh. Sounds like they just hit him. Ah. Well, we've seen that guy in the opening. Well, I'm guessing he's going to be a bad guy in inverted commas. Is he paying them to go after Tors? Yeah. Well, so much for them going off to fight a war together. Well, so far there haven't been any after credit scenes, so I don't know how long I'm going to keep checking that, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, that was the second episode, and there was a lot to try and digest in all of that. Like, I can see this being the type of show that is going to... You're going to want to have your brain awake when you watch this, is basically what I'm saying. We learned that Tors has a nickname, and that he is a big fancy war hero, and everybody used to like him. But, obviously, people that he ran away from has now found him, and they've sold him a load of lies and basically said that we need you to come back. But as we've just seen at the end of the episode, that's not the case. Now, I don't know if that's because Floki doesn't like him, which is a surprisingly close name to Loki, and Tors is very close to Thor. I don't know if that's deliberate or if that's just a coincidence, but it's a hell of a coincidence. I don't know, like, if this is a personal thing for Floki, or if this is actually coming from, like, his leader, his king, whoever it is he answers to directly. This particular group of Vikings, the Jom Vikings, something like that, they don't appear to be as interested in, like, drinking or fraternizing. They only seem built for one thing, and that is war. And I get the distinct impression that Tors was very similar to that when he was, you know, all about the killing, basically. And with that said, this episode also gives that opening sequence of the first episode make even more sense, with the way he was kind of like melancholy, just standing around and thinking about other things. Like, he was clearly having that moment where he wasn't sure that this is what he wanted to do with his life anymore, or whether or not he even believed that this was just and right, which is probably what he's always thought, just like a lot of the young guys do in the village. You know, look at the difference in their reactions to the idea of going to war. Everybody else is practically over the moon, whereas he looks depressed. And I think the saddest part of all of this is he cannot get it through to his son why that's the case, and his son just wants him to embrace being this alleged war hero. He wants him to be the most ferocious warrior in the actual village, which sounds like most people know that he is a fighter, but it doesn't sound like they know just how good he actually was, and obviously was, isn't, is. So yes, he might have been an amazing fighter when he was in his prime in the army, but obviously that was at least 15 years ago from what he said in this episode, so he might not be as good as he used to be if he hasn't kept up his training, but I'm sure he'll do well enough to put up a fight against anyone on the island. But will he survive this assassination attempt, which is what it is, by these mercenaries that Floki appears to have hired to take him out? I think the fact that he cannot get it through to his kid why war is bad is very poignant, given that he himself was such a good warrior. Now his past is doubly coming back to haunt him, and I kind of feel like it's the same with his daughter. Like, he can't, you know, his daughter wants a slave, his son wants to be a fighter stroke killer, and he is just sat there like, you know, it's like, slavery is bad, killing is bad. I've seen this firsthand, I've experienced it. Why is everybody not taking me at my word? Why are you all insistent on finding this stuff out for yourself? But I will say that his son is one of the most intelligent 6-year-olds I think I've ever seen, ever, because I know a lot of 6-year-olds and they are definitely not going to be able to fight people or be obsessed with going out to sea and to war. If anything, they're stuck between whether or not they want to be a crocodile when they grow up or a dinosaur. You know? It's like, considering he is supposed to be only 6, he is very mature for his age. And I've got a funny feeling that that's going to play a hand in his survivability as the series goes on, because I don't predict a very happy future for this village, because what I think is going to happen is they're going to attack the boat, obviously. Now I don't know if Tors is going to live or die. I've got a horrible feeling he's not going to live, even though I really want him to because I like his character. But regardless of what happens on the boat, I then think the village is going to get ransacked, and obviously all of their strong and able males have now either already been killed or are stuck out at sea. So that pretty much means that the really young, the old, and the women are all left behind. Now, don't underestimate old guys. Some of them can still bring it when it's required. And let's face it, in the modern day and age, saying that the island is just full of women, that really doesn't matter. They can still kick some ass. But obviously, at the time that this is set, they won't have been trained. Now, his daughter, I'm wondering if she actually can handle herself and wield a sword, because she seems to be very physically well built, and she obviously is used to enduring the cold winters. And, you know, if her dad is a fighter and they do live on this Viking island, it wouldn't surprise me if she has learned how to wield swords. I mean, I know quite a lot of Viking women did learn how to wield weapons. Yes, it wasn't the norm in inverted commas, but it did happen. So it is possible that they might fare better than you might think they do if they get attacked by these same brigands. However, I suspect that what's going to happen is that the kid is going to lose his family. Now, like I said, I'm wondering if his sister might survive, but I can almost guarantee you that his mum will bite the dust. And especially if his dad is gone as well, then that's perfect motivation for the rest of the series, which appears to focus on the kid, given, well, you know, the opening. It's not about Tors, annoyingly, but it looks like he's going to be aging a lot as the show goes on. So I can foresee a future in which he's going to need some kind of big tragedy motivation, and it just seems like they're setting up this perfect little happy village to be destroyed. And if that isn't motivation enough for a 6-year-old that was already pretty much decided he wants to be a warrior slash killer, that would definitely motivate you to get your kill spree on. And in the opening we saw that he uses those daggers that he found in his dad's chest. I know they keep calling them swords, but they're daggers. I think that could be a pretty cool way for him to fight, given that he is smaller and he is younger. And yes, I know that it looks like there are going to be some years passing, but I don't think it's going to be like 20 years. He's not going to suddenly become 26. I think it's going to be him as a teenager, in which case he is still going to be the smaller and undeveloped against everybody else, but they've made a point of saying in this episode that even at the age of 6 he can take on people 5 years older than him, outnumbered, and they're the ones that come off badly damaged. So imagine what he can do in a few years' time with actual weapons. I think he's going to be a little savage that takes people apart, just like I suspect his dad was when he was young. Now, as for me continuing to react to this show, I will be watching episode 3, however, depending on how episode 3 goes, I'm hesitant to suggest that I'm going to keep reacting to this, because I think this is the sort of show that's going to be very emotional. It's going to have a lot of heart and character development, and all of that stuff is great, and I love shows like that. Very difficult to react to, at least for me, because if they're not bringing the hype, if they're not bringing big moments every now and then to go with the character development, it does kind of make it difficult to make the entire thing a series of reactions. And I know this isn't a short anime either. I think it's 24 episodes, so it is kind of like I want to keep going. So you guys gotta let me know. Do you think that this is a series that you would want to see reactions to, or do you agree that it might be one that's better left to just watching this on my own? I'm not saying I'm not going to react to it. Like I said, I've got another episode to go, and I'll definitely check out episode 4 at the end of July when it airs. It'll actually be really close to my birthday, hilariously. So, yeah, I really enjoyed both of the 2 episodes I've watched so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing the 3rd episode. Just wish that I had more time to kind of fit everything in that I planned to do today. I did not expect Vinland Saga to drop 3 episodes, but I decided this morning I'm going to watch those 3. That's going to be my task for today. So if you enjoyed this, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Drop comments down below, let me know what you thought of the first 2 episodes. If you're watching this on Patreon, obviously the 3rd episode is probably in the same post as these 2, but I'll do it as a separate video for easiness of trying to get all these recordings sorted and edited later on. But if you're new around here and you want to see more of this, or you want to see Fire Force, Fire Force is also on the channel. Subscribe if you want to be updated with what we're going to post and when. There's going to be, at some point, there's going to be a marathon posting of One Punch Man Season 2. There will probably be a marathon posting of Dororo as well, but I have not decided if I'm going to do redirects for Dororo. But One Punch Man I would like to actually put up properly, so we'll have to see how that goes. Either way, that's going to be it for me, guys. My name is CycleGold. I will see you in my next video. Stay tuned, because it's probably going to be Vinland Saga Episode 3. This is CycleGold, signing out.